Hey everybody, I'm in Galveston, Texas, which in 1900 saw one of the worst natural disasters in American history. Galveston Island has one of the richest histories in Texas. It includes the native Karankawa and Cabeza de Vaca in the 16th century, and pirates like Jean Lafitte, and Civil War battles in the 19th century. Yet the Galveston hurricane of 1900 tops them all. By 1900, Galveston was a wealthy port city and a remarkable place to live. Even today, many mansions still occupy the city streets. Fortunes were made in cotton, banking, trade, and the shipping industry. The Strand area became the Wall Street of the Southwest, and the city itself was often called the Queen City of the Gulf. Due to the city's success, it included many firsts in Texas history, including the first post office, opera house, medical school, public library, telephone service, and the first city in Texas with lights powered by electricity. Yet Galveston was a low, flat island, with its highest point being just 8 feet above sea level. As for hurricanes, the city had weathered storms before, but many believed that the city's position on the Gulf would somehow protect it from an actual hurricane. They could not have been more wrong. Galveston's chief Weather Bureau meteorologist was Isaac Klein, and he had received reports of a powerful storm hitting Cuba on September the 4th, 1900. But it wasn't until September the 7th that he started noticing signs of a storm, and he tried to warn the town. Unfortunately, little of the townspeople took notice. The next day, September the 8th, Galveston was completely rocked by a massive hurricane. Klein measured 160 km/h winds before his anemometer was blown off the roof of the Weather Bureau, although it is estimated that the wind speed would nearly double that. Yet the worst was still to come, as a massive storm surge completely flooded the city in up to 12 feet of water. By the time dawn broke on September the 9th, the storm was over, yet Galveston was nearly totally obliterated. It is estimated that around 8,000 people may have died, 20% of the island's population. In addition, some 7,000 buildings were destroyed. The 1900 Galveston hurricane remains to this day the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. Rebuilding Galveston was a slow process. Bodies were burned in funeral pyres for weeks, and it would take months to clear the debris. During the cleanup, a motion picture crew of Thomas Edison's filmed the island. The surviving film is some of the oldest film footage in the world. To protect the city from future storms, a 17-foot-tall seawall was constructed starting in 1902. Today, the seawall has been expanded to cover 10 miles of the city's coastline. In addition to the seawall, the entire city was raised behind it. Using sand dredged from Galveston Bay, every house was raised onto stilts, while water and sand from the bay was pumped underneath, eventually raising the grade of the entire city. In 1915, these new defenses were put to the test when another hurricane hit the city. Although 53 people were killed, the seawall protected the city from the deadly storm surge. However, the seawall could not restore Galveston's previous wealth and influence. After the 1900 hurricane, the much farther inland city of Houston was viewed as a safer alternative for shipping. In 1914, the Houston Ship Channel was completed, and today Houston, not Galveston, is one of the busiest seaports in the world. Today, Galveston is still a wonderful place to visit. Its strand may no longer be the Wall Street of the Southwest, but it's still a top tourist destination. And Galveston Seawall still protects the city and offers a unique beach experience after all these years. So come to Galveston and see the seawall. It's one of the best places in Texas.